Motorsports. I am Mark Peasant, and this is Reese Stedman, and we've just finished practice 3. Quite an interesting session, except for the fact that obviously the first half an hour was spent raining.
Yes, quite a wet session that we had here today, but very interesting in the last half an hour with a lot of running being done by drivers on wets and intermediates.
Indeed. So we see the session finish with Charles Leclerc on top, half a second quicker than his rival Max Verstappen in the Red Bull. Then followed by Carlos Sainz of the Ferrari and Fernando Alonso in the Alpine, again showing this weekend that he's got a lot of pace still, in fourth in the Alpine.
Yes, very interesting to see how quick the Alpines have been throughout this weekend. Definitely showing quite a lot of pace. Will be very interesting to watch them in qualifying and in the race tomorrow.
Just to round up your top 10, so it's Sergio Perez in 5, Red Bull, Lance Stroll in 6th of the Aston Martin. Again, the Aston Martins also this weekend have been quite quick.
Yes, I'm hoping to see Sebastian Vettel have a good weekend, considering he was the last race winner here in 2019 at the last Singapore Grand Prix.
And the other Alpine of Esteban Ocon in 7th, Sebastian Vettel 8th, and George Russell, Mercedes, of which Mercedes, interestingly, this entire session, spent about 50 minutes of the session in the pits. They only came out in about the last 10 minutes to try and do some laps.
Yes, and they did not put in any impressive times for us to see. Clearly not doing very well in the rain here, which could show what will happen in qualifying later and in the race tomorrow if it does rain.
Exactly. So we've got George Russell in 9th, and then Daniel Ricciardo in the less improved, as it's not had anything done to it, in 10th, beating his teammate who's just had all of his upgrades put in for this weekend, that being Lando Norris. So Daniel Ricciardo's McLaren going faster around in this practice session. So interesting to see that happen. Then rounding it up, Kevin Magnussen in 11 in the Haas, then Lewis Hamilton of the Mercedes in 12th.
Once again being outperformed by his teammate. So very interesting to see from Hamilton, who has still yet to win a race this season, the first season of his Formula One career, not winning a race.
And unfortunately, I fail to see where he's going to get that win from. In 13th, we had Pierre Gasly of the AlphaTauri, and then Mick Schumacher in 14th. And then bottom 5 being relatively, bottom 5 were Yuki Tsunoda in 15th, the bottom 5 being relatively normal, except for the fact that Lando Norris of the McLaren in 16th was much slower than his teammate Daniel Ricciardo.
Yes, McLaren will be very disappointed with that because they have put all of their new upgrades on Lando Norris's car, deciding not to upgrade Daniel Ricciardo for this weekend.
And rounding up the bottom 4 is obviously the 2 Williams and the 2 Alfa Romeos, Alexander Albon of the Williams in 17th, the 2 Williams in the middle of Bottas and Zhou, and Goat Tiffy at the end in 20th.
In his resident spot of 20th.
I believe we shall retire that spot 20th. We will let it be Latifi's forever. We'll go 19th and 21st from next year. But,
yes, very interesting session at least. Obviously a lot of talk going on about the alleged cost cap breach, allegedly being Red Bull and Aston Martin, but we will only find out next week Wednesday when the FIA release their official statement on their findings.
And the communication they have sent out so far is it's very
unknown at the moment, at least.
Uninformative, really.
Yes.
Because all it says is that there is an investigation going on, and pretty much that's it. We know that it's a budget cap investigation, and we know that they say they're going to give their say on Wednesday. Other than that, no information whatsoever. So we will only have to unfortunately wait for Wednesday, because I don't think you'll see any more information come out about that this weekend. So we'll just get to focus on the racing. So it does make for a very interesting qualifying session, because we did see now drivers going to practice on the intermediate wet tyres, which they reckon qualifying will see a bit of rain. So it will be an interesting qualifying, to say the least.
Well, we hope that we won't get washed out too much in qualifying, otherwise we will not be able to get too much running. But hopefully we have a similar session to now, where it starts drying up later in the session. Hopefully we'll even be able to get some dry tyre running in qualifying, hopefully qualifying 3.
100%. Well, what this does say is that the qualifying session and the race should be quite an interesting spectacle, I think.
Yes, with varying weather conditions.
The Red Bulls have not been on top, really. I mean, they've been with the pace, don't get me wrong. They've been with the pace, but they've not been the strongest car in the circuit.
Yes, so, Ferraris have seemed to be very strong this weekend. Definitely bringing their A game to try and stop Verstappen from winning the championship this weekend.
Yes. Unfortunately, I think it's much of a we win the battle but lose the war, as it will be this weekend. Should Ferrari manage to take a one, even a 2 spot, as it is only a matter of time for when Max Verstappen and Red Bull win both championships for the constructors and the drivers. But Singapore Grand Prix looking quite interesting for the qualifying session, and we will see you there. This has been Forever Motorsports. This is Mark Spies. Please do give us a like, a follow, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next session.